The University of Reading, Malaysia. We are an international branch campus of the University of Reading, one of the UK's leading universities with an outstanding global reputation for teaching and research. We offer a number of the university's signature degree programs in disciplines such as business, finance, real estate, law, psychology, and quantity surveying. We're strategically located here in EduCity, Iskandar, Malaysia's premier destination hub for international education.
As a British university, we do provide a holistic British educational experience that seeks to develop not only academic skills, but also a variety of soft skills. At the same time, we do have a very diverse environment. Our students come from both public and international schools, and we do also have a diverse mix of local and international academics. At the University of Reading, every student is assigned a personal academic tutor, so they have someone they can turn to if they need advice or support.
As a university, we provide a consistent, high-quality experience across all our programmes, whether they're delivered in the UK, here in Malaysia, or elsewhere in the world where we operate. We offer the same programmes as the UK campus, following the same curriculum and quality standards. The university's teaching and learning strategy sets out two key priorities for the next few years: delivering academic excellence and providing students an outstanding learning experience.
At our state-of-the-art campus, we offer students some of the very best facilities to support the learning experience. Our spacious Learning Resource Centre provides for lots of areas for students to study and has access to the same online learning material as what they would have on the UK campus. The large lecture theatre is used for major events, but most of the teaching takes place in our classrooms, which are well equipped with the latest audio-visual technology. We also have a number of specialist labs available. For example, we have a moot court for our law students, we have a financial dealing room for our business students, we have a BBRU lab for our psychology students, and a BIM lounge for our QS students.
We use the same learning materials as they use on the UK Reading campus. I know that we're also receiving the same high standard course delivery here in our Malaysian campus. The small class sizes allows me to receive a more personal learning experience. All our lecturers knows our name and we have more class interaction here in Malaysia. Reading is kind of like my second home right now.
The lecturers are highly qualified and they're experts in their field. They really put in effort to make sure that we understand what we're learning and make classes more enjoyable. They really try and make it interesting and engaging at the same time.
Interested? Come and join us.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we have a guest speaker from University of Reading, one of the leading universities from United Kingdom. So joining us tonight will be Nishen from University of Reading, Malaysia. How are you, Nishen?
A very good evening, Mr. Vincent. I am doing very fine. I hope you are well as well.
Yes, I hope that our guests are well, and I understand a lot of people are staying home, including from Taiwan, from Malaysia. But if you are fortunate enough to be from Hong Kong, also stay healthy and stay safe. Okay, before we begin, I would like to actually play another video to introduce University of Reading. Nishen, how long have you been with University of Reading?
Well, I've been here since 2018, so it's been a little over 4 years right now. We're moving into the fourth year right now, so yes.
Okay, so you have seen it grown for the past 3.5 years.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, so let me play this video first for those of our friends who may not understand, may not seen University of Readings in Malaysia. Okay. Okay, Nishen, I saw one subject that maybe my daughter may be interested, which is Bachelor of Psychology and Clinical Studies or something like that. She's aspiring to be a psychiatrist. But you have a lot of different subjects on offer, right?
We do, Mr. Vincent. We actually have 8 different subjects here in Malaysia campus. And the UK actually offers over 200 degree programs. So yes, that's the available options that are in hand for people who are considering higher education with Reading.
Okay. Do you mind sharing your presentations? I understand before we begin, we also like to let the audience know that University of Reading Malaysia is located in Johor, which is just a stone throw away or very near to Singapore. It's at the special edu city set up within the Medini region, right? Within the Iskandar
Yes.
region, sorry. So it's a special zone for all the educations institutions over there, and University of Reading is a leading university of that side. Okay, so Nishen, I pass on to you. Please share with us what's so special about University of Reading.
Sure, Mr. Vincent. Thank you very much for that generous introduction. And of course, to all the viewers, thank you for joining us again. And I would like to extend my gratitude to Mr. Vincent and the MM2H Club for having us here today to present to the audience. Okay. Now, I will
Hang
just
on a minute,
jump.
Nishen. We are not able to see your slide yet. I think you may need to share your slide again. Okay. So you may have to go back to the, okay, we saw it now.
Great. So to all the viewers, thank you again. And of course, to begin with, very briefly, I shall start with the history of the University of Reading in the UK, as well as University of Reading, Malaysia. The University of Reading is indeed a established British university from the United Kingdom. It is, in fact, located very close to London. It's only a half-an-hour train ride from London. And the university has achieved numerous milestones over the years since its establishment. If we look into the history of Reading, the university was established as an extension college of Oxford University back in 1892. So that's how old or how long before the university's history actually began. And in 1926, the University of Reading in the UK was the only university to be awarded a charter in between 2 world wars. And since then, they have been operating as an independent institute of higher learning in the UK. And of course, they have produced hundreds of thousands of graduates over the years and are now established and well known for a number of programs. In 2013, the University of Reading Malaysia's adventure began. So the University of Reading in the UK stretched its wings, and right now they have established the only international branch campus here in Iskandar Puteri, Johor, Malaysia. And of course, some of the accolades that they have won over the years do include the Green Flag Awards, being one of the top green spaces in the UK, as well as the Queen's Award on 4 different occasions. That is a very simple map of the UK, and as you can see, Reading is very close to London. So it's a 25 to 30-minute train ride from London. It is situated in a big, spacious land. Actually, it's 321 acres of land. And the university is home to a little over 18,000 students, which hail from over 150 different countries around the world. And Malaysia and China and a lot of students from Asia actually go to Reading to pursue their higher education, whether it's in degree or postgraduate PhD level. And of course, these are just some shots of the University of Reading in the UK. As you can see, it's a big green campus, both with a blend of modern architecture as well as traditional architecture. So that's a very unique campus setting. And of course, in 2013, the adventure of University of Reading Malaysia began. This is, of course, after the government of Malaysia had invited the university to set up a campus here due to its the quality of the programs that is offered by University of Reading. Malaysia, of course, is a safe and vibrant multicultural country with a lot of similarities with neighboring countries like Indonesia or Hong Kong or Taiwan or India, because we have a very mixed multicultural society. So it is very much a home away from home. And the accessibility of KL to different cities around the world, especially in Asia, is very good. Of course, right now with the pandemic, things may be a little limited, but on a normal day, when service has resumed as normal, then flights to different countries around Asia or Southeast Asia is pretty much available 24/7. And of course, it's a stable and safe environment. Hence, to give you a brief introduction, the location of the university is actually in a state called Johor, which is the southernmost state in Malaysia. And it is home to about 3 million people, the population. It is divided into 11 different districts. And of course, Edu City is located in Iskandar Putri, which is very much a new city, actually. We're about 20 minutes away from the old city. It is a modern and well-equipped and well-secure place, Iskandar Putri. And within that neighborhood is where Edu City is located. Edu City is actually the first of its kind education hub in Southeast Asia, which is home to 3 different UK universities, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. So Reading is just one of them. If your children were interested in, say, medicine or biomedical sciences, then Newcastle University is one of the venues that you could potentially send your children to. They are right behind our campus. And of course, we have the University of Southampton, Malaysia as well, which offers engineering and different types of program. And amidst all of this, we have a couple of international schools, Marlborough College, Raffles American School. We also have a college from Singapore. So everyone is located in that small but very vibrant neighborhood. As you can see, access to Singapore is very close. We're right beside Singapore. It takes about 40 minutes to the airport in Changi, Singapore. Also very close to our very own Senai International Airport. And we're currently a very small community. We have 640 people, students mainly from about 10 different countries. And the programs offered here are 8 different programs, as I mentioned earlier. So this is just some shots of the campus here in Malaysia. As you can see, it's a very sleek, modern building, very different architecture. Just some of the facilities like the large lecture theatre as well as the library. And as we move on, as I mentioned earlier, the location of the campus is in Edu City. So these are just some shots of Edu City. This is, of course, the sports complex, which is very close to campus. They have a dedicated sports complex. There's a student hub where students can do their activities. There is also F&B options available for students. So different types of food, whether it's Mediterranean, whether it's Asian cuisine, whether it's Indian or Western cuisine, everything is actually available within a stone's throw of this place. And it is also one of the premier sporting destinations for a lot of the local community here. So this is just some of the facilities that they have, apart from the universities. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, what good would a university be without its academics? As we can see, we have a very international academic team. This is, of course, just a list of the heads of schools that we have. So if you can look at first picture here, Professor Tek Yong Ng is the head of Henley Business School, Malaysia. We have Professor Anne Burgess, which is also Malaysian, which is the head of the law school. And we have Dr. Bruno from Nigeria, which is the head of the Built Environment faculty. And of course, as Mr. Vincent mentioned earlier, his daughter may be interested in the psychology program. So Dr. Rachel Pai, the one in the middle, is actually from the UK campus. So she is and has taught in the UK and now calls Malaysia home and will be here for the foreseeable future, leading the School of Psychology and Clinical Language Sciences. And also another one of associates, Associate Professor Bruce Howell, which is also spearheading the Foundation Study and Language Institute. So he is also from the UK campus, and both of them have expertise in different fields, but the common goal is the same, is to make, the vision, of course, is to produce quality education and to ensure that our graduates are industry ready and able to take on the challenges of the 21st century. So as we move on, the programs or the schools available, of course, we have Henley Business School, which is the biggest school offering 4 different programs. We've got School of Law, we've got School of Psychology, School of Built Environment, as well as the Foundation Study and Language Institute. If we dwell a little bit deeper into the programs, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at 8 different programs. So as I mentioned, UK has 200 over program offerings because of their enormous size, and Malaysia campus is slightly different. We follow the same syllabus, the same standards, the same marking scheme, but program offerings here in Malaysia is, of course, much less. So we're looking at some of the business programs that might be interesting to you. Is, of course, we've got the real estate degree program, which is consistently ranked number 1 or 2 in the UK. We've got the quantity surveying program, which is ranked number 3 or top 5 in the UK consistently. We've also got the BSc, or the Bachelor's in Psychology. Now, all the degrees we offer are honors degrees, and the unique thing about the psychology degree program is that this year, the School of Psychology celebrates its 100th anniversary. So we're actually in the midst of our centenary celebrations. Of course, we've got a few more business programs, such as those who are interested in entrepreneurship, international marketing and strategy can pursue their business and management degree. Those interested in accounting and finance can pursue the accounting and finance degree, which has actually partnered with the ICAW, or the Institute of Chartered Accountancy in England and Wales. So the program structure is very unique. It's a 4-year degree program, including a confirmed 1-year placement or internship, which students don't really need to look for the internship, but it is already within the syllabus. So Henley Business School works very closely with the ICAW on that. We've also got the Finance and Business Management degree, which, if students are interested in a career in banking or perhaps wealth management, they want to go into business analysis or business development, then the Finance and Business Management degree is a pathway that they should actually consider pursuing. Moving on, we do also have the law program, or the Bachelor of Laws LLB degree program, which is offered here now in Malaysia campus. The unique bit about all these degree programs, ladies and gentlemen, is that if your children were to pursue the degree program here in Malaysia, they can actually, or have the option of doing part of their degree in the UK. So that's a very attractive proposal there for future students, where they can start their degree here in Malaysia. They can complete all 3 years here and they still graduate with the same University of Reading degree transcript, or they can have a taste of what's life like in the UK and move to the UK and do either a term or a year or 2 years in the UK, depending on their wants and depending on the options that are available for them. But pretty much all the degrees offer students that option. And finally, we do have the International Foundation Program. So those who are leaving, say, the IGCSE or the O-level qualification and intend to do one of the degrees, then the foundation pathway is a quick pathway for them to pursue before they go on to their degree journey. Of course, it's a 1-year program which offers a number of modules available. So students select the modules based on their intended degrees, and then they go on and pursue their degree qualification after their foundation, of course. These are just some of the pathways, as I was explaining earlier on. As you may see the chart, you start off with your IGCSE or O-level or equivalent. In some countries, they have the high school diploma, high school qualification. So you complete that, and then you go on to your foundation program, or you pursue the degree straight away. Those with an A-level or an OSMET or a diploma or foundation equivalent, they can actually go straight into the degree program, given that they meet the entry requirements. I shall jump on to the next slide. And as you can see here, we always say that the University of Reading, Malaysia, or the UK actually offers the best of both worlds. Now, what do we mean by that? It simply means that students can pursue the exact same degree qualification here in Malaysia, which is much closer to home, and at 60% the cost, while doing the same qualification. And at the same time, these students actually have the option of doing part of their degree in the UK, which is very, very attractive and lenient. It actually gives students the ability to experience the UK campus while also having a grounding here in Malaysia. They can opt to do that, or they can finish the degree here as well. Either way, they will graduate with the same degree qualification. So that's something that's very attractive. And as you can see, these are just some of our students which opted to do the mobility or the transfer to the UK and spend some time over there. In fact, students can even choose to graduate over there if they wish to. They can attend the ceremony in the UK, or they can follow the normal pathway of attending the ceremony here in Malaysia campus. So as I was mentioning, you have a couple of options to choose from. Those of you who start off with a foundation program will go through the 1-year foundation plus the entire degree in Malaysia, or you could start your journey with foundation, do the first year in Malaysia and the second and third year in the UK. That's also possible as well. In fact, there are no caps in place right now. So the number of students that could transfer from one particular program over to the UK is not limited. As long as you have the entry requirements, as long as you meet the passing range, you are able to go on to the next level. And of course, one of the more popular options in Malaysia is, of course, the foundation and year one in Malaysia, doing the second year in the UK, and then returning to do and complete the final year in Malaysia. So that's another one of the popular choices that the Malaysian students make. And of course, you can choose to do the final year in the UK as well. So there are a couple of options that you can choose from. And as you can see, there is a lot of flexibility in the mobility and transfer progression that is available for students. Now, some of you may be wondering, parents and students alike, will there be any discounts if, say, Mr. Vincent's daughter was to go on to the UK to pursue her degree in psychology? Is there a discount for students? And the answer is yes, there is a discount, which is for the first year of their transfer, where they will get 20% off the international student fees in the UK. So that is available for students who wish to go on to the UK to do a year. Of course, if they're going to stay longer, then the second year will not have the same deduction, but they will still be able to complete the degree then. You may also be wondering, is it difficult to transfer? And the answer is no, it's not difficult to transfer. We actually have one international officer that's dedicated to help students to make the visa application, to help them with the accommodation application in the UK. And then there's this whole pre-departure briefing that's involved for those who are wanting to go. So the international officer will help them through that process of choosing mobility and going on to the UK. And of course, the most popular choice, as I mentioned earlier on, is the first year in Malaysia and the second year in UK and third year back in Malaysia. We do have a very attractive option here, whereby if you do all 3 years in Malaysia, you are actually saving about 60% of the cost of doing your degree in the UK. So to give you a rough idea of how much is it to actually do your entire degree in the UK versus doing it in Malaysia, as you can see here, part of your degree, the fees in Malaysia is actually, for international students, of course, it's 45,200 ringgit a year. For the local students, it's slightly less. For those who are wanting to go to the UK, 1 year in the UK is about £19,000. So that's how much it costs to do your degree in the UK. And of course, the comparison is there's a 60% saving for you. A simple way of putting this, ladies and gentlemen, is what you would spend in the UK for 1 year of your studies and living costs, you can spend that money here in Malaysia and you're covering 3 years worth of fees. So that's how affordable it is to actually do your degree here. Potentially even saving some money for your master's qualification or your children's master's qualification. So that's how affordable it is to do your degree here. In fact, you're getting the same qualification. And of course, in terms of intakes, parents may be wondering, when are the intakes? So for the foundation program, intakes is usually in April. We have an entry point in July and then another intake in September. For the degrees, the same April, July, and September as well. For the University English program, which is a English enhancement program for students, they may also join the 10-week program, which begins in January or the month of May. So that's another option that is available for students. Just to mention to all the viewers, when you are going on to foundation or degree, it's always best to put in your application at least 3 months prior to the intake date, because that gives you some time to prepare for the visa and all the other formal documentation. Of course, if you are a Malaysian or a Malaysian student living abroad, you may not need that period of time. But for those who are from different countries, it's advisable to start the application process much earlier, at least 3 months in advance. And for those of you who are wondering, EduCity also does provide accommodation options, whereby the nearest accommodation is the EduCity Student Village. We also have the Eco Botanic accommodation, which is a private apartment outside of the EduCity compound. Costs a little bit higher, but of course much more comfortable and much better food and beverage options as well. So these two are the accommodation options within the neighborhood. And for parents which are wondering about scholarships, we have a couple of different types of scholarships which are also available for international students. Now, depending on what the grades they achieve during IGCSE or O-level, you may be subject to get a 20 to a maximum of 30% off the international fees or the first year fees. And that deduction will maintain into your second and third year depending on what you achieve in the first and second year. So it depends. If you get a better score in your first year of degree, then the 20% deduction that you were eligible for the year before will be brought forward into the second year. So that's how it goes. And it's the same for degree students as well. Some of you may already have A levels or Australian matriculation or a diploma or foundation. Then yes, you may also be eligible for the 20 to 30% deduction in your year one of degree studies. And it's the same concept. So these are just some of the result examples that we have on the scholarships. And please do get in touch with us if you need to know in detail. Suppose you have a slightly different qualification, then we can advise you on the entry requirements as well as the eligibility for scholarships. And of course, additional support is provided for students. So they are assigned a personal academic tutor. And you may be wondering, how is this possible? Well, University of Reading, Malaysia does not simply recruit students. We take in students that actually meet the entry requirement because the entry requirement for Malaysia and the UK campus are the same. Hence, the quality and standards are the same. In fact, the intake for every April or July or September, the size of the cohorts are actually very small. So if you're going into a degree program, you're talking about 25 to 30 students. That's how big the cohorts are. And we like to keep it that way because it gives a more personalized experience for the students which are in the classrooms, as well as a much more easier management for the academics. Of course, some programs may increase a bit, like finance and business management or law goes up to about 35 or 40 students. But even then, the classes are much smaller than compared to other institutes of higher learning. And that gives the lecturers a lot more confidence and easier management with the students, and of course students which have a lot more time to engage with their lecturers. So the lecturer to student ratio is much smaller. We have an in-house counselor. Students which go through a period, a rough patch, or perhaps need some advice or need counseling can actually book a time with our in-house counselor. We've got a career officer, ladies and gentlemen. The career office actually organizes virtual career fairs. Of course, we don't help you find the jobs, but we help you find the opportunities that lead to the jobs. So we conduct workshops, things as simple as how do you do your resume, or what is the dress code for an interview. All those things are given by different professionals from different industries, whether it's from DHL, for Ernst & Young. We have partnership with different companies. We also have an international officer, as I said, helps the students with their transitioning from the Malaysia to UK campus. We have a student buddy system where they can refer with certain students to get information about the modules and programs. And of course, very crucial part of our students' development is the clubs and societies. So that's another bit where parents and students can actually look at how the development of a student is like in Reading, Malaysia. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you for bearing with me for the past 15, 20 minutes. I hope I did not take up too much time. So you can actually scan this QR code, and that will lead you to the website of the University of Reading, Malaysia, and that will give you a lot of information and input about the options available, accommodation, fees, and the whole process. We do have our September intake coming up. So for local students, they still have the time to apply for the Malaysian nationals. But for international students, I believe the best time to apply or the best intake to apply for would be in April 2022. We will have intakes then as well. And of course, thank you very much. So, Mr. Vincent.
Okay, thank you, Nishen. Although the sound may be intermittent for certain parts, but I think it was a very interesting presentation. And I can see that you are actually also considering my daughter as one of the potential student in the future. So I was just wondering, the University of the Psychology, the Department of Psychology, Bachelor of Psychology, in terms of the progression, can they actually study this psychiatry after taking out the bachelor?
Right, that's a good question, Mr. Vincent. Now, to clarify that, Mr. Vincent, the common misconception is that if you do a degree in psychology, you actually are able to become a psychiatrist. Those are two different professions. Being a psychologist and a psychiatrist is two different professions, whereby people who become psychiatrists are actually medical students who are studying to become doctors, and they choose the pathway into psychiatry and will spend a few more years studying that before they become psychiatrists. Whereas when you're in psychology, if you are a psychology major, you will do your degree, and then if you're interested in things such as clinical psychology, or perhaps working in media and advertising, or HR and training, then of course you will progress on to that field of study, or you will do your master's and PhD if you are intending to go into the academic world or professional pathway. One very good example is being in counseling, or perhaps in clinical psychology.
I see. Okay. So on the other hand, understand from, let's say, certain part, even in Australia nowadays, they do not allow the students to pursue medical degree directly. You have to go for a medical science degree or something like that. So does it also covers if they allow liberal arts or science degree, then perhaps psychology is also one option. Is that right?
Yes, I mean, it does depend on which pathway you want to take. Hence, for those who are looking to complete the degree in psychology, yes, you have opportunities in a variety of areas. But if you want to specialize, you will have to do your master's and PhD. But if you're looking at employment in different countries, so say you're talking about Australia, or perhaps Canada, or perhaps the UK, then there are certain professional requirements by the professional bodies in that particular country that will maybe need you to do a certain interview or an exam before you're allowed to practice there or pursue your degree there. So that's something that parents must be aware of. Different countries have different requirements. So it does not mean that if you were to do a degree with a UK university and you can become a counselor in a different country, no, you will have to do the professional pathway before you pursue that career pathway.
Okay, thank you, Nishen. I think we are well covered, and I'll leave it to my daughter to decide which pathway she's supposed to take. But definitely,
Awesome, sir.
UC
No problem.
Reading is one of the prestigious leading universities from UK that has a campus in Malaysia. And from what Nishen explained, it's the same course, it's the same degree. Okay, should
Yes.
the student pursue in Malaysia or UK, they can even have 1 year in UK and 1 year in Malaysia, up to the students and the family to decide. Okay, so it's a very cost effective way of pursuing a degree. So thank you, Nishen. And if there's any questions, feel free to leave a message here. Or Nishen, you have anything to summarize
Right.
before we leave?
So, yes, sir. I would like to just re-emphasize on the point that you highlighted earlier. It's not only a cost-effective manner where you can pursue the same degree, but you're much closer to home and it's much cheaper. The global pandemic right now has made it very challenging for people to travel abroad and to different countries, especially to pursue higher education. Hence, parents and students which are thinking, maybe a year or two down the road, I am going to the UK or want to spend some time in the UK, then the flexible mobility options that we have, the flexible transfer options that we have, will be a very attractive pathway that they can choose if they were to start their degree here in Malaysia or with the University of Reading, Malaysia. So that's something that parents and students can need to consider. The pandemic hasn't made it any easier to travel abroad, but if you do have that long-term vision of wanting to go to the UK at some point of your degree life, you can kickstart your career here and go to the UK. We being the only international branch campus is, it's the only international branch campus in the whole world. So that's very, it's a good sign of the credibility that the university has, as well as the qualifications that we provide.
Thank you, Nishen. And thanks for the evening. And if you are interested to know what other options you have, what other enjoyable options you have for Johor, we happen just to have a live webinar on last Saturday about golfing in Johor. So the parents can enjoy golfing while the children study hard in Malaysia. There is one option in Johor. Johor has one of the most number of golf courses in Malaysia. Are you aware of that, Nishen?
Yes, actually, there's a lot of attractive golf courses. I've had the experience of traveling to one golf course that was designed by Ernie Els in Desaru Coast. So, if you may be aware, there's a new water theme park about an hour's drive from JB Town. And beside that resort is actually a very beautiful golf course, which I had the privilege of seeing. Of course, I don't play golf, but it is a very attractive place. In fact, within 20 to 25 kilometers of the campus in Johor, there are a number of golf courses as well in Forest City, in Horizon Hills, and in Pulai Springs. So there's a lot of activities that you can do in Johor, actually.
Yes, I actually spent a night in Desaru in my last trip in Johor. And yes, it's a very well-designed golf course by Ernie Els. But of course, we also have golf courses designed by Jack Nicklaus and the son. In a few of them, actually 2 of them, in Johor. So this show how many golf courses there are in Johor. And this is where Johor is getting much better with UNSIL reading, with such beautiful golf courses all around. Okay, we thank you for the evening, Nishen. And any questions? Feel free to leave it. Okay, we have one question.
Yes.
Eric is asking, I would like to study the first year psychology in Malaysia and study the rest of the program in UK. But is it feasible to change major in the UK to, say, computer science?
Right. Thank you, Eric Lui, for the question. Very good question. Now, if you were to kickstart your degree journey in Malaysia, say you are starting in psychology, and then you go over to the UK, you can actually only go on to the programs that are related to psychology, which means that whether it's a psychology with the placement option or, as long as it's within the same degree field. Now, if you were to change to a different program, which is far off the psychology discipline, which is computer science, then that would mean that you need to do that at the beginning of your degree journey. So if you was to start year 1 in Malaysia and you do the second and third year in the UK, then you will go on to the psychology program. But suppose you did your foundation here and you've not started your degree journey and you want to go to the UK and pursue the 3-year degree in computer science, that's very possible. It's just that you can't shift between the 2 different programs because the modules do not overlap. The modules are very different, what you have in psychology versus what you have in computer science. It's 2 different faculties, 2 different module requirements, and 2 different disciplines. So yes, Eric, I hope that answered your question.
Okay, thank you, Eric. And all right, thank you, Nishen. We'll call it a day. And we're actually 7 minutes past 10, which is the scheduled time of completion. So tomorrow night we have another sessions, and on Friday night we'll compare Malaysia, my second home, with the Thai Elite program, but that will be done in Cantonese. So Nishen, thanks for the evening, and we'll see you around. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vincent. Thank you, everyone. It's a pleasure to have you.